Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from Outkick dated March 18th. And you're going to love the title of this. And there's a word here that I'm going to highlight right now that I can't actually say. It says, Keith Olbermann tweets that he hopes someone pulls a John Wilkes Booth to Abraham Lincoln on Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and see what he says, because everyone's least favorite lesbian aunt is screaming to the sky again. It says, Outkick officially retired Keith Olbermann from our annual Woke All-Star Challenge, on which you can vote here. Oh, I gotta go do that. Just to his credit, he's too dominant. He's a nutter. On Monday, Olbermann tweeted that he hopes someone hashitions Donald Trump. He referenced a post from the Biden-Harris HQ X account, flagging a clip of Trump saying that he had been persecuted worse than any president in history, including Abraham Lincoln. And Trump says he has been treated worse than Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated. The campaign account posted on Saturday. See, I can say it in that context, but not in the context that Keith Olbermann would like to use it. Olbermann responded by saying, there's always the hope, as in some nut offs Trump, as John Wilkes Booth did Lincoln. You know, because Keith Olbermann is totally not unhinged or anything. Like, he's been getting worse over the years. I mean, the guy is like, I mean, he's got a TDS at a level that, like, is going to be studied for generations. Like, people are going to be like, how did this guy just he lost his ever-loving mind. It says, were Olbermann still influential, he was for decades, one could argue that his state of distress over Trump would behoove the former president. It's people like Olbermann who elevate conservatives in the culture war on the backs of their own kookiness. I like that, kookiness. It says, Keith Olbermann is a caricature of the emotional hemophiliac suffering from an unhealthy disdain for a political figure whom they don't know personally. I'd like to see if Keith Olbermann actually was to meet Trump, like, what would happen, just to see, like, Keith Olbermann wouldn't do anything. He'd probably, like, fall to his knees or something, because the dude is just, he's a puss. Because earlier this month, Olbermann called for the dissolution of the Supreme Court for ruling 9-0 that the Colorado Supreme Court erred in disqualifying Trump from the state's presidential contest. You know, because there's nothing like leftists who, when the Supreme Court doesn't do what they want, it needs to be dissolved. And I guarantee you, if that was a 9-0 the other way, saying Trump was off there, Olbermann wouldn't say this. So with the Supreme Court stuff, and I've said this on numerous other videos, to you lefties out there, the Supreme Court can't just be, like, you know, good when they do things you want, and then you want to get rid of it when they don't do things you want. It's either good it's just like, they're either, good all the time, or they're just not, okay? Like, legit, I should say. I'm not thinking of the right word, but you know what I mean. Like, you can't just go, oh, wait. Like, there's decisions they make all the time that I don't like, that I'm just like, okay. And I move on with my life. But anyway, it says, he then implied urine drips from his eyes instead of tears, which is this wonderful picture here. I might actually try to see if I can find that and use it, or see if I could save it as the screen cap for this video. It says, at least we think that's what he suggested here. You tell us. And then he said, those aren't tears, fascist. And he's using the word fascist wrong because he's a leftist and he doesn't understand what words mean. It says, they're urine. I'm sure you enjoy being bathed in it. It says crime, or it says crime or 9-0. Yeah, okay. So it says, Gunter Eagleman is superb for this artwork. That's pretty funny. It says, anyway, as always, if you are calling for someone to be emdered because you disagree with their politics, you shall be placed in a padded room. And again, we already knew that. And look, it's everyone's favorite lesbian aunt. It says, do you think, this is the author of the article, Bobby Burak, says, do you think Keith Olbermann is bored and playing a character, or is he actually nuts? No, I think he's actually nuts. It says, be afraid. Yeah, he's a nutter. Geez, I think I might try to even get this as the the screen cap to the article. But what do you guys think about this? What do you think about Keith Olbermann tweeting that he hopes someone offs Trump? Like, yeah, you can't do that. See, this is where, like, the whole free speech argument for me goes, yeah, that's not free speech. You're calling for, you know, bodily injury or death to somebody. That's not free speech, pal. You don't get to do that. Once your speech starts infringing on someone else's rights, that's a problem. So, Secret Service, you might want, I don't know if they do it for presidential candidates, but I know they do it for presidents. But, like, if this was someone said that about Joe Biden, I'm sure the Secret Service would be paying that person a visit. So can we get a visit to Keith Olbermann, please? I'm sure if it happens, then he will most certainly tweet about it. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Are you still someone that follows Keith Olbermann? Did you used to respect him once upon a time, like in the good old days when him and Dad Patrick did SportsCenter? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.